So I'm out here today working in my bee yard, and I noticed some strange activity in one of the hives. And I just looked up and I saw right here in front of me that a swarm has been cast off of one of these hives and is now clustered here on this this little tree. It's a dead tree that I've put here specifically for this purpose, because bees tend to fly out of their hive and then gather up and cluster on something close until they discover a new place to move to. They actually will move out of the hive before they even know where they're headed. So I'm going to show you this this swarm cluster here, and then I'm going to put a box up, and hopefully we can see them march right on into that box and accept that new box as their home. So right here's this little tree. It's a dead tree that I've just stuck here beside this block. Actually stuffed it down this concrete block and leaned it up against this log. And there's just something about having a solid object like that close to the bee yard, and they'll land on it before they take off and leave. Now my bees are only that far away, so this is maybe 30, 40 feet from where the beehives are. I had done some splits behind me in these boxes, so there were multiple queens hatching out in a couple of these hives. And because of the population, they've determined that they were able for them to leave and take a portion of the bees with them and leave some behind. So now I'm going to set up this box, and hopefully they'll just march right on in. And for now, I just have empty frames. I have one frame of partially drawn out comb, and this is some fresh drawn out comb, so this is going to smell really nice to the bees. And I'm just going to put that down in here, and just that smell being in there will help them accept it. Now I'll have to I can't just leave these empty frames in here. Once they've decided this is where they're going to be, they'll start working out this one comb in here first. And then they'll start drawing out combs on these other ones, but I want them to be nice and clean combs. So I'll take these out and replace them with stuff that's a little bit better later. But right now I just want to get them in there and get them to accept this home. And so now what I want to do is get some of these bees in that slot right there, up in here, and they'll start calling the rest of these in. So I'm just going to scoop some up. And lay them right down here at this entrance. And if all goes well here in a few minutes, they'll start calling these other bees right into that box. I'm gonna lay this little stick in here to give them a better route to climb. Starting to kind of go up that way, and more bees on this landing area right here are going to start producing the odor that tells them this is a good hive, and those bees will just start flowing in there like they're pouring in out of a bucket. So now I'm trying to watch really close to see if I can see that queen marching on in there. because once she goes in there, it's almost a sure thing that they'll stick in there. Once they all get in there then and settle down just a little bit, I'll go ahead and move them right to the place that I want to keep their box, and they'll just take that up as their new home wherever I put them. Those bees that are here at the entry are putting off a pheromone scent that's calling all the rest of the bees to that spot, telling them, come on over here, this is where we're going to stay. And the bees are starting to work their way up that stick, like I like to see. Yeah, they're really starting to move now. There's enough bees in there giving out the signal. And the queen actually could have gone in. I could have missed the queen. But there's a pretty good flow of bees headed up that way now, and it'll just be a matter of time before they all go in that box. So actually the queen is right here on this bunch of bees. She's right there on top of that blade. And there she goes right now. She's making her way up. Oh, she went down. She's down here just under this stick, but it's just a matter of minutes now before all these bees come up here. So the last time I bought a package of bees, they were, that would have been, probably 5-6 years ago, probably, when I bought a package of bees last. Probably longer than that. They were up to $120 then, about. So anytime you can save, especially one of your own swarms, or even catch a wild swarm by using swarm boxes, that's $120 plus whatever you get out of them later. So don't let swarms get away if you can help it. I'm pretty sure the way these bees are acting now, the queen's in there. There's so many bees still adhering to all this area because it still smells very strong, like that queen is still down here. And so they're clinging to where they last knew that she was. But as many bees that have gone up into the box, into the hive box now, I'm pretty sure she's in there, and it's just a couple more puffs of smoke, and I should be able to get them to not smell her anymore and move on into the box. Now it's a great thing to leave this here because now I know that bees do like this landing area, and people say that if you have a tree in your yard or people report catching swarms on the same fence post, same tree, over and over again at different times of the year. So I don't know if they scent mark these places or if it's just a visual thing, but bees are reported to swarm and then gather on those same spots as their resting spots time after time. So that's something to keep in mind. If you've got an old dead tree and it's catching swarms, think twice about cutting it down because it could make you $120 another time around. So now, as you can see, almost all the bees, they're at least off the block. They're on this little board I put here, and they're still moving in. They're just about all in. So I'm gonna go ahead and move them, and I might even, when I get them to where I'm taking them, I might even go ahead and give them a couple of different frames that I want to give them. I had time to go dig some out, so I might slip in a couple of new frames so they can get off to a better start. That's what I think going to be a successful swarm capture.